already unwrote the process of contesting for various seats in 2027 in Nigeria. And it does also seem as though there is going to be big changes being made, even though within the ranks and file of the APC, there is some sort of solidarity as well as vote of confidence on the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in view and with high hopes that 2027 would indeed be another title claim for him. But then the compendium of issues that keep arising from the north, west, east, south is not one that can be swept under the carpet. Now, we've seen the change, oh, the matter that went down in Lagos State, yes, where Obasa was removed, Miranda got in, Obasa came back. Quite a number of people say is because he is Mr. President's boy, if you like to put it that way. In fact, he came out publicly and he said, well, yeah, the president is like my, like my godfather, for want of the right expression to, give it now. Someone I respect and all of that, my political daddy and stuff like that. But in the entire Lagos State saga that went down with the Lagos State Assembly, please don't mention my daddy. He's not part of this one. All right, let it just be between me, the Lagos State Assembly, as well as Miranda. But yeah, he's being reinstated now. And it brings us to the question of the topical issue in discourse this morning. What are we going to be reinstating? Are we going to be reinstating something else? Are we going to see to it that we speak truth to power, to leadership, and tell the leadership that as much as we agree and we accept the increase in minimum wage from, is it 30,000 naira now to 70,000 naira, which some people will go, wow, that's huge. Well, it should be huge. In fact, we applaud the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration for that. But then again, is it commensurate with the reality in terms of pricing, in terms of needs, in terms of necessities? Now, I'm not talking about frivolities. I'm talking about necessities. Is it commensurate with it? Now, the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, right? Nigerian University, I beg your pardon, SSANU, they have added their voice with other stakeholders who have at one point or the other expressed their displeasure over the little or no purchase power that the increments to minimum wage offers in a dispensation that breeds lack, poverty, inequality, suffering, high costs of fuel, hike in prices of goods and commodity, except for the Ramadan period, of course. And then when you look at the transportation, of course, there's a hike in the price when it comes to transporting yourself or goods and services. Now, SSANU have added their voices, and they are expressing their concerns about the taxes on the 70,000 naira minimum wage. And that is becoming unbearable for its members. In fact, the issue is not new, as the Nigerian government has been struggling to balance its finances. And this is leading to increased taxation. The SSANU's concerns are rooted. They are rooted in the fact that the taxes are affecting their meager salaries, and that is making it quite difficult for them to survive. Now, if these ones who are very sure of a salary that will come monthly, or you're part, if you like, you want to say they're part of the formal, working sector, they're crying and crying about taxes. My question would be, what will be the lot of the informal sector? But some would argue and say, oh, they're not paying taxes. Are they really paying taxes? I mean, they're informal for a reason. Don't you think, they'd say. But according to the news reaching us, the SSANU leadership laments taxes have drastically rendered the 70,000 naira minimum wage increase useless and of no effect. And they called on the government to work towards a worker-friendly tax regime to ameliorate the hardship faced by workers. Is this also your reality? Are you affected in some ways? Or probably you are not affected. I mean, the 70,000 naira minimum wage, maybe your 70,000 naira minimum wage is not taxed. And if it is not even taxed, then it means you're committing a crime that is also punishable by the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, the comrade Mohammed Ibrahim, who happens to be the SSANU president, stated that the taxes on various goods and services are affecting their salaries through the pay-as-you-earn payee tax, the hike in value-added tax, VAT, and numerous unexplainable tariffs. Now, he also decried the alleged payment of incomplete salaries and withholding third-party deductions in the name of salary shortfalls. Now, to engage this discourse with us this morning would be Comrade Gerald Okachi, who is a human rights activist, public affairs commentator, social analyst, and conflict resolution expert. Now, Comrade, welcome to the discourse this morning.
Yes, a very good morning to you. Thank you for having me.
We all know that the Nigerian society is made of the formal and informal sector. And if those who belong to the formal sector, so to speak, talking about the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, are coming out to expressing, their concerns about the taxes on 70,000 naira minimum wage increment, and that it's being unbearable, is becoming so unbearable now. What would be the lot of the informal sector as it speaks? And what do you think that this reality is indeed about, especially within the Nigerian society?
Well, it's unfortunate that the SSANU or senior staff, are complaining at this very point in time. We have already seen it, from afar before now, as activists when the negotiation for minimum wage we are still on.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. That was the reason why we vehemently rejected 70,000 naira as minimum wage, because we know that it cannot take anybody home. Even if you as UD and you don't have any responsibility, you are not taking care of any human being. Only you alone. 70,000 naira cannot take care of you for 1 month. There's no respect. You are doing magic or miracle. Talk of the increasing inflation and the challenges that we are facing on a daily basis. What it simply means, we will have more padding of budget, we will have redundancy of staff or workers, we will have people, as today, if you submit anything at the public service, say for example, you submit a petition to the Nigerian Police Force, either headquarters or any of their commands, and you are not prepared to follow up. When I mean follow up, you are not prepared to part with something. that thing will stay there for more than 5 months.
More than 5 months?
Yes. Just go and do investigative journalism on it. I'm just giving you a sample. You go to public service and maybe you are to make any inquiry or maybe to make one engagement. If you are not ready to part with something, it will be there for us. Only God knows how many months. So you may not even hear about it again. This is what you experience when you are not paying your workers well. It's one of those things you will see. So I had expected that they will stand with us. I'm not a public servant. They will stand with us. We are demanding 250,000 naira as minimum wage. You can't have our National Assembly members going home with over 15 million naira every month. And the main people, the engine room that are doing the work, are being paid penury like peanuts. So it gives room to extortion, to exploitation, to some of the challenges we are facing. Now to think of that, you are being paid 70,000 naira as minimum wage, and then they are bringing different kinds of taxes on the working masses. It's very, very alarming. It's enough to even demand that government must take drastic action or they resign, whoever that is in charge. Take for example, if somebody that is on 70,000 minimum wage, and as of today, the minimum you get at least in some part of Abuja now is between 880 to 900 naira per liter. And you have to go to work and you have to cover, say, it depends on the area. Say you are coming from Maraba, Aziz, or you are coming from Juba, Aziz. What will take you to work, to and fro, will not be anything less than 15,000 naira fuel. That's if you are mobile. If you are not mobile, there's no way you can go to work without spending at least 5,000 naira for transport to and fro. We not talk of feeding. We talk of other things like this conversation we are having via call. They have also increased it. Data people use, they have increased it. That anything you purchase today, if as of last year you are getting it at a lesser price, as at this year some have tripled, some have doubled. You ask yourself, how do we get to the point? How do we move out of this? So their cry is a very valid and clear cry that demands serious attention. Yes, one can look at the piece of taxes that are placed on workers. Government tries to generate revenue through these taxes to fund infrastructure, healthcare, education, and public services. They increase all the taxes just to stabilize the economy, help to regulate inflation, and ensure fiscal responsibility. Or maybe to support programs like pensions, social security, subsidies for low-income individuals, and public sector salaries, which include teachers, health workers, security forces. They are paid from tax revenues. Look at what is the redistribution. Progressive taxation can reduce income inequality by ensuring higher earners contribute more, and that is what this tax reform they are doing is looking at tackling. Targeting the higher earners, income earners, while those that are below 1 million naira or thereabouts are made to go home without paying much. Now you look at some of the challenges they are facing today, the workers. It makes their take home pay. It reduces their take home pay. Workers receive less disposable income, affecting their ability to meet their daily expenses. You also lower their purchasing power. The cost of living continues to be a burden to them. Inflation in Nigeria has its further strain workers struggling with housing, food, and transportation costs. So what you will eventually have now is the potential for tax evasion, where people will begin to find a way to navigate and avoid paying tax. And if we reduce incentives, that workers normally get. It will discourage productivity, just like I said earlier. The motivation will be very low, except you part with something that's the only way. That's the dependence on motivation. So I think government should slow down with this issue of taxes. Let's see how we can stabilize our economy. If we can achieve selling fuel less than 300 naira, as they make it, and it's now that the food prices are coming down, and let's see how we can work hard to see that at least some grains like a bag of 50 kg of rice can be sold at least between 20,000 naira or less. It will help when you tell me this 70,000 minimum wage can be attainable. It can make sense. But as it stands now, it will make us to be running into debt. Banks they are announcing profit, but the time will come, people will obtain loan, they will not be able to pay it.
Right, comrade. Yeah, comrade, let me get into, let me come in there. Now, the SSANU, let's get back with SSANU. They are demanding the release of 50 billion naira for the payment of end allowances, which was appropriated in 2023 supplementary budget. Now, we're still talking 2023 budget now. They also commended the president, Tinubu-led administration, for paying 2 months out of the 4 months withheld salaries of their members in the federal universities and inter-university centers. Now, let me bring us just something to relate with. A university staff member whom I was able to, connect with, but wishes anonymity, was shared a personal story, experience with a tax burden. I beg your pardon. Now, she stated that her take-home pay has significantly reduced due to the taxes. In fact, that is making it very difficult for her to meet her basic needs. Now, she also appealed to the government to consider the plight of workers and as well review the tax regime. Now, we could, as a safe landing, want to say, and I heard you also mention, while you were speaking, that this probably is the reason for, the tax reform bills. And it does seem as though you're throwing your weight behind the tax reform bills. But then this is coming from the SSANU. In fact, because they are a group that is recognized, they are demanding 50 billion naira. And it makes me wonder, what about the group in the mainstream society that is not SSANU? What then do you think could be the demand for such group? I'm talking the informal sector now. If the formal sector are saying, we're demanding based on an agreement, something 2023 budgets that was put in the budget and all of that, what about those that are in the informal? Do you think they're affected by this, or is this just a formal sector taxation, issue?
The formal sector always dictates the things when it comes to earning and the wages, and that is when they negotiate any parts. It becomes mandatory to everybody, including the formal sector, to peg the earnings and the wages of their workers on that. So whenever negotiation with regards to a minimum wage or what have you, they go into it. You see, these informal sectors that are represented by TUC will be part of the negotiation. You begin to hear private workers, coming into that negotiating table. So they always drive the force. They always set the pace. Meaning that whatever they decide or they to do, in one way or the other, it's just like a chain reaction. It will affect the private informal sector. So if they are making demand, recently, just a few days ago, we learned that the federal government of Nigeria is reviewing the salaries paid in December. They are claiming that they overpaid. I'm sure you saw that in the news yesterday. So they are trying to adjust in subsequent salary payment, to see how they do those sorts of things. I look at it. Yeah, it means this hardship that people are facing. If such a thing actually happens, it should be part of the way to encourage the workers than trying to also, reduce what you are giving them in form of trying to recoup what you paid. If you overpay them, whose fault is it? Is it the workers' fault?
But nobody's being sanctioned, comrade. There's nobody's being sanctioned. Is there anybody being sanctioned for the overpay?
Yes, now there should be consequences. It means that people are not doing their work diligently. So if you overpay your worker, and at the end of the day, you begin to deduct it, I think to me is I don't know how to put it, but then it doesn't sound well. It doesn't sound as if you are sensitive. I think it's an opportunity to win the workers, to gain their faith, in what you are doing. It can be form of, okay, yes, I paid 13 months salary as at 2024 because I see that inflation is high and people are suffering. There's a way you can cause this kind of thing, and it will make sense. But your own is just to find a way to extort what is remaining of them, try to drive them. Anything that, policies that we are seeing today is not policies that are pro-mass. Policies we are seeing today is policies that stifle the economy. And they say that they are trying to bounce back. And obviously, most of the things they have told us before now have come to not to be the reality we are facing. They told us that if you remove subsidy, there will be money for infrastructure, for healthcare, for education, for this, for that. They remove subsidy, but they are still borrowing.
But the president said that the Nigeria's economy is looking upwards, and they said that the reason for removing subsidy was for the unborn generation. That's what he said. Right.
These are the stories we have seen and heard for years. Any government that comes, we act like a gamma lizard that will fall down from tree and the judge shake his head and say, okay, yeah, he's doing very well. The reality of that does not tell what he says. You're on the streets.
But don't you also think that this administration has done its bid, especially with the tax reform bills, that is still, under some certain looking into's going on? So my question will be, how can stakeholders, including, how can we be a part of this? Shouldn't we be a part of the process? Isn't that what this administration is doing with the tax reform bills?
The administration has very genuine and good intention to improve the life of the citizens, but then those that are managing it are sabotaging it. Say, for example, as recent as yesterday, we saw in the news that NNPC is relating back from the agreement they had with regards to Naira to crude oil.
But they've come to debunk it. They've come out to debunk it.
I pray that the debunking should be true, because it will serve us right. Many times, these politicians, or even the ruling class, or even these multinationals that are supposed to represent the interest, have you not seen in the news also last week that Nigeria is indebted to subsidy of between April to September, something like that, in 2024? I think something was in the news last week.
Yeah.
Whereas the whole that period, the government was saying that they were not paying subsidy. So it becomes 6.5 dozen. Who is fooling who? You will tell us what thing today after. So I think and honestly think that if organized labor are complaining that even the way they award their rates because of inflation, the sales of they have not paid many. Only this year we have observed teachers in the LCT going on strike. If teachers in LCT, especially in the primary, which is the fundamental and basic in education, are going on strike in the capital, you will imagine what will happen at the state level.
Okay, well, we'll just...
They have to come out of strike because of the interest of the children,
right.
Because the exam is always there. Not because they have been paid.
All right,
you have a teacher that is not happy to impact on the life of a pupil. What do you think will happen? And that does not mean that just recently we saw what happened in KJD schools, where Nigerian Air Force went to beat up the workers there.
Yeah.
because of disconnection. You ask yourself, this Nigerian airport that the Ikeja discos are accusing of owing up to the tune of over 4 billion naira in the past 10 years. Does it mean that those monies we are not captured in the budget for the past 10 years? They were captured. Where did the money go? What were they not paying?
I think accountability and transparency has always been our problem.
We need to look at all of these things and do thorough investigation. No matter whose fault is gone, we bring the person to the public and shame the person and prosecute the person with our laws.
But it doesn't seem as though
what we see in the service, public service staff, if you raise voice as a junior staff, they will tell you to wait for your turn.
Right.
Meaning that when you get to that position, whatever you want to do, you do, because there are no consequences for bad behavior.
That's the thing. But let me put a peg to your thoughts now. Let's go on a recess. We'll hear from Nigerians, and then we'll get back with you to give us, your thoughts, and of course, add your voice, to some of the questions that'll be raised in the course of this prog show. Right. Well, this is still Eagles 102.3 FM's Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. We go head out just for a bit. We'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja, here to stay.
Are you a Nigerian undergraduate with big ideas for change? Are you passionate about governance, activism, and social impact? Do you want to create real impact in your community and have your voice heard on key national issues? The Youth Leadership Development Program YLDP 2025 is here. This is your chance to gain first-class leadership training, mentorship, and secure up to 2.5 million naira to bring your community change projects to life and advocate for the Nigeria we want. Don't miss out. Visit www.nigeriayouthfund.org to apply now. Application deadline is 14th March 2025. Time is ticking, so hurry. YLDP 2025 is powered by the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, NYFF, and implemented by Leap Africa.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just
20,000 naira?
Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. Hurry now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Yes, we're back from recess now. This is Eagles 102.3 FM's breakfast show's political show. We call it the Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. And we've been looking into matters that concern, the 70 or taxes on 70,000 naira minimum wage becoming quite unbearable. SSANU is lamenting, and in case you don't know what SSANU is, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU, they've expressed, their concerns about the taxes on the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Number for you to call to join the discourse this morning would be 0907 353-0044 or 0908-766-8888. WhatsApp portal number 0909-705-4450. And just to also put it out there that SSANU is also demanding the release of 50 billion naira for the payment of earned allowances, which was appropriated in the 2023 supplementary budget. To also have visuals to this audio that you might be listening to via your radio set, you can head out to YouTube and subscribe at Eagles FM Abuja. Do the same with Facebook at Eagles FM Abuja. And of course, we will have your voice heard loudly and clearly in this arena. All right? Let's go take this one. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
My name is CJ. Good morning.
CJ, good morning. Okay. Call back, sorry. I can barely hear you now. All right. The number once again to call is 0907 353 0044, right? 0907 353 0044. Taking this call. Hello. Yes.
Marino calling
CJ,
you.
CJ, where are you calling from? Sorry.
I'm calling you from Zuba.
Zuba, okay. Talk to us, CJ.
Yeah.
CJ.
Okay. My reason of calling is that they say the minimum wage of 70,000. Where did they pay it? Federal government workers. My brother is working in federal. He's a civil servant.
Okay.
Until now, they never paid the 70,000 naira minimum wage. What did they pay? Every time the guy is coming, every time. I don't know where they pay this minimum wage. Where they are saying about. I don't know. So I want to know about the issue of the minimum wage because they never even said anything. But the man that is talking, the man that is talking, is talking the real thing.
Okay.
They never pay the minimum wage. Until now, as I'm talking to you, never. They never pay that minimum wage. Until now, we are going to enter May now. So May 1st.
Okay, CJ. I get that.
They promise another one. So it's not fair.
Okay, get that, CJ. Well, CJ saying if in the midst of all of these minimum wage has still not been paid for some government officials right there. If you also recall, sometime, was it last week or last month, myself and Omoefe, we had a conversation in this regard about whether or not these monies have been paid. In fact, it also made it to mainstream, dailies. There are some states that have still not been able to pay, the exact minimum wage. I mean, some pay 40, some pay 60. It seems like everybody's paying minimum wage, or each state is paying minimum wage based on their discretion. And it's really quite appalling to think that with that minimum wage, with whatever is being paid as minimum wage in whichever state, same taxation is still ongoing. It calls for some concern. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Yes, fine, thank you.
My name remains Comrade Salisu, sir. I'm calling from Suleja Justice.
All right, Comrade Salisu, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm saying about the tax. This 70,000 minimum wage, where they say they already pay. Where they pay? From state to federal to everywhere, they never pay this money, and they already impose tax to everything in this country. I'm hearing some people are saying food is coming down, things are coming down. Where food is coming down? Where?
Where are you calling from again? Sorry.
I'm calling from Suleja Justice.
Is food not coming down in Suleja there? Food prices.
Thank you.
Is it not coming down?
Yes, right. Thank you. Mood of rice is 2,300, 200. Is it coming down?
How much was it before? Before Ramadan?
Ramadan is just 2,500 or 600. Is this coming down? It's not coming down. They are not calling this one coming down.
Okay.
Very soon is the time food is supposed to come down, because this harvesting time is happening every year. Every year. It's not every time. It's happening every time, every year. So it's supposed to come down now. But very soon now, after summer, it's going up.
Okay.
You'll see. So it's not coming down. People are just coming down.
All right, appreciate that.
This man that called Bola Tinubu is a task.
Oh, come on now. These guys. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, please.
Yeah, my name is KGB.
KGB, where are you calling from?
I did Abuja.
Where for Abuja you did, KGB?
UTK.
Huh?
Bako.
Okay, talk to us.
UTK.
Talk to us, KGB.
You see, my brother, please, can we start it's good for sometimes let's try to be human being.
Okay.
I tell you, in this country.
Okay.
What am I trying to say? Is a lot, but I'll just say brief. Can it be pronounced that governments are playing the masses, or governments are the 419? I can't understand. Let me say this. You see, I have siblings. About 10 months ago, the NYC said that they were paying 77,000 naira to coppers. I thought I thought the money had been paid.
I now jokingly ask one of my boys, you for enjoying 7,000. He said, what? We said, he said they have not been given 1 naira. That's called that 77,000 and they have not been paid. What is it? I said, eh? I said, are you sure? He said, yes. So what am I saying? How can you, government say we are paying you this? And they refuse to pay. And if the possibility of them getting that money and be pocketing it is there. Mm-hmm. So where are we heading to? We are in a situation, they tell you hard way the only way, no retreat, no surrender.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate that right there. Well, that's quite a lot. I mean, in fact, if you're going to talk about, this issue, I mean, the question has been out there, on various news platforms, even the BBC News Pigeon is carrying it. When Nigerian Youth Corps members will begin receive 77,000 naira new alawi? That's one of the questions that was asked, under the BBC platform. And of course, at some point, March 3rd of 2025, this year, NANS was seeking probe of NYSC over non-payment of 77,000 naira alawi to corps member. And 5 months, of course, after, federal government is failing to pay corps members, even after the president, as the Tinubu-led administration, sometime in March 1st of 2025, had, given, or was that sometimes last year, right? October, if I'm not mistaken, or November, right? That conversation was trending about, the 77,000 naira. And it goes back to the place of transparency. It goes back to the place of inclusivity. It goes back to the place of accountability, which, of course, our guest has mentioned earlier on. And if, these promises are being made and they are not indeed fulfilled, what is the lot of Nigerians? How can we indeed begin to trust the government, right? Is what, a conversationalist is saying. But another conversationalist will want to say that it's a matter of bureaucracy. It may not just be about the president. President might just make, orders, and give statements and all of that. It behoves on those who are indeed tasked with certain responsibilities to take that order and transform that order into the lives of Nigerians, so that we indeed can see fruition, from that order. But I'll just try to connect with our guest again, but this will be after taking this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Yes. Thank you.
My name is Bibi Blessing. I'm calling from Otako.
Appreciate it. Welcome, Bibi.
To be fact, the minimum wage where they are paid, where government they are now say they are paid. Mm-hmm. They are not paying it. Now that they share the money between themselves. Now what do we do?
Bibi, you can't be so sure.
Bibi, they say they are paid. The bag of rice for market. Even though the bag of rice cost that about 70-something thousand, me say now another thief market is come down. It could be all your way we buy now. You cannot fit buy all for market again. The thing
Oh, baby, we just lost that call from you, though. But do well to call back. Well, we have our guest already, back again. Welcome back, Comrade Gerald Okachi.
Thank you.
I mean, you heard what Nigerians, really talking. In fact, quite a number of Nigerians calling in, family members, saying that, look, where is the minimum wage being paid into? Which account? I mean, one of the callers has been asking the question, saying that he has a sibling who works, with a federal organization or institution, and he has not been paid. Another has called in again to saying, we don't see it. I mean, federal government has promised the NYSC corps members that, okay, as at last year, I think, 77,000 naira was going to be paid to them for alawi. Up until now, 5 months after, we still haven't seen that happen. And it calls for concern. How do you put all of these together, especially when we also understand the fact that times are hard, times are tough, right? And questions are also arising about whether or not this tax regime is fair and just. I mean, we're seeing taxation here and there. We're also seeing increment, hike. On the one hand is taxation, on the other hand is hike. Commodity hike, data and calls hike, price in transportation hike, quite a number of hike. How do we balance all of this to see in that indeed it is a just and fair consideration on the plight of workers? And of course, do you think that we've had enough stakeholders, including workers, being engaged in the decision-making process on taxation policies? And then, of course, you give your final thoughts, on the matter.
I think in the proper solution to the challenges we face today, the government have engaged and committed themselves in a lot of reforms and the programs to see how to ameliorate the challenges of the workers, especially with regard to transportation. Last year, we were told that the conversion of vehicles to CNG use, we saw the campaign and the effort, but it appears like recently we have not seen that same drive again. And these are some of the promises they made to the organized labor, that they will roll out the CNG buses that, will crash the price of transportation. But we have not seen that. The recent reduction in fuel pump prices of 65 naira has not reflected in the transportation. So I think, and I believe that if government in their commitment to reduce the suffering of the Nigerian masses, ensure that all the promises they made, especially with regards to transportation, that they implement, a lot of things would be good for it. For example, if the revitalized urban mass buses that we have seen on the road recently can be made, to be efficient. It shouldn't be the one that will jam pack people will be stopped. And if you are not able to wake up as early as 6 o'clock to go and queue, they not make use of the buses. They can find other ways to ensure that CNG, at least Nigerian vehicles, at least can have up to 30 to 40% use of CNG. By so doing, to reduce the price of things. That is on one side.
Right.
On the other hand, I think they should renegotiate this minimum wage. There's no way, even as of today, the 250,000 naira minimum wage that we are advocating for will be able to take care of people's needs. Today we have a free education at the junior secondary level down to LEA. But some of the things they pay there, even with minimum wage, you will not be able to meet up. I have a parent that have about 3 kids in one of the junior secondary schools. Every time, if he doesn't pay, you pay close to 12 to 15,000 naira. Not school fees.
Not school fees.
They will tell you PPA exam that, sports or inter-house sports. They will always coin something that they will use for maintenance, because if you depend on government to maintain those schools, honestly, I visited one of the schools last month, February, when we were doing a campaign against drug abuse and social vices. My dear, some of the schools, children were sitting on the floor here in SCT. They were sitting on the floor, overcrowded. The windows, they don't have windows. The doors are spoiled. So, when I had a chat with the president, I have to tell you that it's from this PDA engagement that they used to take care of some of these things. And they don't have enough teachers. It's through these PDA things that they will raise money to employ teachers that will take care of some subjects that they don't have teachers for. So, minimum wage as of today cannot take anybody home. It can only create corruption and more corruption. It will create insecurity. So the earlier we start, as of today now, we have seen that our most reverend and respected Nigerian military are today collecting a budget just like police on the checkpoint. Something that we have never seen or heard of. As of today, some agencies that are not supposed to dabble into civil matters are today, like police. There are some areas you go to police, they use they find a way to double into debt recovery, land dispute. Things that ordinarily police are not supposed to engage, but because in pursuit of money, they will tell you bail is free. But even if you get to even force headquarters, retended house, pray that you don't get issues there. If you get issues, if you are not careful,
all right, comrade,
you will struggle to meet up the conditions of administrative bail they will give you.
All right, comrade. Time will not.
I think we need to review this minimum wage. The committees need to sit down again and review it. If not, we are setting ourselves a dangerous path that we don't know what it will be for us.
All right, we appreciate your thoughts, on this one, comrade Gerald Okachi, even though the phone line still buzzing, can't go any further because we do have yet another program coming up in a short bit. But we want to appreciate you, especially, for adding your voice in the discourse this morning, though.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate. And of course, to each and every one of us that have also added our voices, our voice will be heard. The truth is we'll keep pressing until the change comes. Right, my name is Udwak Daniel, and at 10 o'clock, of course, will be time for the General Open Banters. Good morning.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.